Hello everyone. Today we're looking at one of these. This is another one of these really rare phones you really don't see very often. And I've searched high and dry to find someone else who's got one of these. This is a Storno Explorer. Now you might be thinking, what the heck were they thinking when they designed that with the ripple effect? But in fact, I think actually this is just a rebadge off of Motorola's Associate 2000. I ain't done a video about that phone yet. I do actually have one. In fact, I think I have more than one even. I just ain't got around to doing a video about that. But this phone is, I think, just a rebadge of that phone. I'll try and do a video about the Associate 2000 phone as well at some point. This phone operates on NMT. I had this one shipped to me at great expense. It cost me over $150 to have it shipped, believe it or not. But it was so worth it because I don't know anybody that's got one of these. And I'm talking like elite phone collectors. I know collectors worldwide, and some of these guys have got way more phones than me. You know, I know people that got like more than 2,000 phones. All right, they're all small and modern phones, and you know, not many brick phones, but some of these guys really know their stuff. I mean, they work out in the field and work for the phone manufacturers, and they know the history of, you know, Motorola and shit. And none of these cats have got one of these. So and trust me, I've looked online. I've looked at all the Danish and Swedish and Scandinavian websites. This one came out of Denmark. Like I said, I had this shipped out of Denmark. It took a lot of convincing for the guy to ship it to me, but it does power on. I'll power that on in a sec. Just to give you an idea, this is roughly the same size as a Motorola International 1000 or a 2000, or you know, any of those phones basically. Like this basically. They're roughly the same size. The layout and the build of the phone is different though, because whereas on most of the international series or most of the phones like this, you got a lever here, and you can actually take the phone part out. This is the phone part, yeah. I'm gonna throw that away. On the Associate, it's a little different, because if you think about it, you got the phone and then the battery that slots in here where my thumb is. On this one, it's a little different. You got the battery on the left below the receiver. That's very different to how it is on these phones. I don't know why, which means that of course you can't take the phone. You can't remove the phone. The phone is built in here. You've just got one connector. This is where the charger plugs in. The charger is a funny type connector, and a couple of these pins are positive and negative. A couple of others are for something else, I'm not too sure, but that's the only port there is. There is nothing else on here that would let you charge it. This button here is obviously to eject the battery, although there is that as well, but I don't know what that's for. I think that's actually a screw. I don't actually think that's a connector. Other than that, it's got the usual funky antenna, which you can obviously turn around like so. This one don't actually squeak. I do actually have one of these that squeaks when you turn the antenna around like that. Give you an idea of the age of the phone. A mobile phone that squeaks, you know, what can I say? But anyway, handset comes undone. There's no button on the side like these phones here, which have got the button here to release the phone. This one here, on the other hand, is a little different. It is just literally pop and click is what I call these. So yeah, it's about the same weight as most of these international phones, or even the analog ones like this. I got a whole bunch of them. In fact, let me pan the camera up real quick so you guys can get a chance to view some of these up here. Like so, I got a few. There's some actually on either side that are out of camera shot. But yeah, basically, let's power this guy up. This guy uses the standard 12 volt 2000 milliampere battery. These are still available. Somebody did ask me for a Dynatec battery the other day, and I sent him a link to one of these, and of course I sent him a link to the right battery. Apologies for that. But yeah, both the Dynatac style phone batteries and these batteries are still available. There's a guy in Germany who's real good. I get most of my batteries off this guy, and they work. They take a charge. They really do take a charge. This one I think was manufactured, I'm not too sure when. It's got a code on there. I'm sure I could look that up. I've had this for about 1.5 years now, and it still holds a really good charge. So let's fire this guy up. It slots in like so, with that notch going there. And interestingly, it fires up pretty much straight away. Now I don't know what that is, 340012. Not too sure what that means, but I'm gonna dump the phone because it is heavy to hold up. So you got all the usual refinements. You got a couple of buttons here that I don't actually know what they do. You just got a button with A. Tried pressing that. I'm not sure what it does. It's obviously an enter button or maybe a redial or something, because when you press that, it says recall. I would have thought this button's for recall. I ain't gonna press that because it's got a key on it, and I'm guessing that's to lock it, so I'm not gonna try that. DK of course stands for Denmark. So yeah, but it's got the menu. The menu is in English, thank God for that. It's got all the usual: general, call, tones, timers, secure, service, transportable. Now, interestingly, on the analog phones like this, not obviously the Associate, but the ones I just panned up to show you guys, you didn't get a menu that said service. On the analog phones, as far as I know, you didn't get a menu. Certainly the ones I've played with, you didn't get a menu for service. So the fact you got a menu on here for service is a little different. So let's quickly take a look. Now, how do you select that? I don't know. I'm guessing maybe. See, I've not played around with this before doing the video. But if you do A, no. Okay. How about if you do 6? Right, there we go. So you got menu 6.5. That's all you got, really, I think. No, you got a whole bunch of stuff in 6. So you got, what's 6.1? Menu 6.1 is keypad dialing. Keypad restrict is 6. No, memory restrict. I wouldn't call that actually anything related to service though, but maybe the menu structure on these is a little different to how it normally is. I'm not too sure. I mean, this phone is obviously for a completely different market to most of the other phones I've got. And interesting, the menu just disappears if you don't select something. So let's take a quick look. I want to try and select something here. So what if you press HF? Nope. There's got to be a way to do this. Menu, okay. So if you just press the number, it'll select it. So how about, let's have a look and see how many tones this thing had. So tones. So you got a choice of silent scratch. Let's go back to, wonder how many ringtones this thing had. So you got a choice of silent ringer on or off. Silent keypad on or off. Silent tones, scratch pad. Oh, that's the scratch pad tones, basically. Long tones, I'm guessing that's DTMF tones. There we go, yeah. And that's it, basically. I don't think actually this thing even lets you select what kind of ringtone. It's that basic. It's only got one ringtone. So I think you got a couple of volume buttons on the side. I'm guessing if you hit the up. No, maybe not. I was hoping that would change the ringer level, actually. But maybe not. I'm not too sure, actually, how to work this. If you guys have a manual for this, I'll be interested in buying it off you, because seriously, if you don't got a manual for one of these, you're a bit snookered, because unlike most of the conventional normal handsets where you got a send and end and a memory recall, I mean, you got M and an R here, but I mean, I don't know, compare that, let's compare that to, I don't know, let's compare that to a Bosch, say. Let me just grab the first one off the pile from up top. You know, even on the older ones, you got a great big green and red button that said dial and end. You've only got one red button here. Oh, it's doing something. So yeah, I'm guessing HF is to try and dial. So let's try and dial 1-800-555, I don't know, 1234. There you go. Made up number, obviously. And I think when you press HF, it's trying to dial out because that's flashing. But of course, there's no NMT in the UK, which is where we're at right now. So this ain't going to do much. Now, I'm not too sure why it's taking this long to realize there's no cellular service, but it's obviously trying to do something. Maybe it's scanning all the different frequencies. Maybe this is a dual band, or maybe just scanning all the different frequencies in one band. But of course, NMT, there is two versions, NMT 450 and NMT 900. I'm not actually too sure which this phone is for. I do think this is for the, yeah, when it realizes there's no service, it obviously beeps. I'm not too sure which this is for, NMT 450 or 900. I think this is a 450 because the Associates 2000 is a 450, NMT 450 as well. I do think this is just a rebadge of it, like I said earlier. But I mean, compare that to the Bosch. The Bosch phones are significantly thicker. If you compare them side by side, they are quite a lot thicker. So the Associates at the time was probably a very slimmed down version. There is a little handle type thing which slots in here. There's a hole there and a hole there in case you're wondering how you'd carry this. There is a handle here, and I think it's probably an optional handle. Certainly the Associate 2000 that I have also doesn't have the carry handle. So my guess is either you could remove it or it was an optional extra that you had to purchase. But certainly this is not something you could just carry around purely because of its shape and because of these ridges. It's not particularly user-friendly, I would say. It's got obviously the sticker saying Storno just there, but that's pretty much all I can say about this particular one. It's one of many that I have in this sort of shape, like the 1000, the 2000, or even the Bosch cartels, like this particular one here. I've yet to do a video about this. There is actually two versions of this particular Bosch cartel. There's a first generation and a second generation. If you're buying one of these, make sure it's a Gen 2, a second generation. In fact, in any case, when you're buying an old school GSM phone, make sure it's a second generation, particularly when it comes to these Motorola Bosch type devices like this. I'll tell you why when I do the video about them. It's real simple. It's got to do with a SIM card and reading the SIM card. But anyway, if you like the phone or the video, certainly I don't think many people have seen one of these. Certainly there's a guy, a Motorola brick expert in Germany. I think his name's Thomas, and he buys up all the Motorola Dynatacs like that. And I don't think he's got one of these. He's got a few Stornos as well. I've searched high and dry. Like I said, the Mobile Collectors website is a good resource as always, and I need to do more work because I've not done anything with that. But I'm joined up, but I don't have the time really to sit and trawl through. But when I get a chance, when I come back off tour, I will make an effort to try and upload some photos of some of these phones. Likewise, also for emails, I got a ton of emails I need to reply to. I just don't get around to it at the moment. So apologies if you have emailed and you had no reply. Then you know that's the reason for it. But anyway, give me a thumbs up if you like the phone or the video, and feel free to check out some of the other videos I got on here. And if you got any questions, drop me a comment. I will try and get back to you. It might take me a day or two to read all your comments and whatnot. But yeah. So anyway, like I said, thanks for watching, and see you next time.